Hello everyone and welcome back to the Docker course. And in this course we had learned in this previous lectures we had learned about what exactly is bare metal systems, what exactly is virtualization, and what is containerization. Now in this lecture we will be discussing what exactly is Docker and Docker technologies. What are containers? We had a brief introduction session of what are containers in our previous lecture. And what are the use cases that can be solved using containers? Because there are multiple benefits of using a container over a concept of virtualized operating systems or a bare metal system. Now, what exactly is Docker? So Docker is a tool designed to make it easier to create, deploy, and run application by using containers. Okay. The main of the if you look at this particular small abstract diagram that I have created, is that you can understand that if you run any program in your laptop or in your desktop, it requires an OS which will interact with the hardware. Okay, a program will interact with the OS, and that OS will give instructions to the hardware to do this particular operations. Now, as we talked about in the last lecture, is that the OS uses a concept of shell in order to contact with the hardware. Okay. And in Docker, what happens exactly, if you remember from my last lecture, is that this shell is shared across multiple different containers. Okay, and Docker uses this similar concept, that is, uses the shell of the host machine or a host operating system on which the Docker engine runs, and this shell is used to run multiple programs instead of just running a single program for a single user. So who developed Docker? So Docker was developed by Solomon Hykes. In 2013, Docker came into existence when Solomon Hykes introduced it to the world. Now the concept of containerization was already available since the 70s. Okay. Since the 70s, this concept of containers was available in some kind of form. Okay, but this container technology increased, or I should say boomed, in the year 2013 when Solomon Hykes developed Docker and made it an open source project or an open source tool. Okay, and this tool then led to the boom in the containerization development and the tools that will be used till now and is still going strong for the foreseeable future. Now, what exactly is Docker containers? We have talked about Docker. Docker is a particular tool which is used for helping us to deploy Docker containers. But what exactly is Docker containers? Okay. So Docker container is an open source software development platform. Okay. If I remember in my last lecture, I told you that a container was an isolated namespace. Okay. An isolated, now if you add to that particular keyword that I provided you, is that Docker container is an open source software development platform which has its own isolated namespace. Its main benefit is that to package containers in containers, allowing them to be portable among any system running the Linux operating system, or now have the support of Windows and other operating system as well. So the main benefit, if you look at this particular diagram that you see right here, is that there is an infrastructure, that is the hardware part, there is an host operating system, and then there is a container engine, and that container engine is Docker, and this is what has the power to distribute or share the shell of operating system, the host operating system, with all of these particular applications. These applications are running on a container, and these container all share the same shell as the host operating system. This is the main benefit. It's the package applications in container. These applications are getting packaged in a container. This whole thing is a container. This whole thing is another container, and this whole thing is another container. And these containers provide us the ability, or they have the power to you can package multiple applications into them. You can run multiple web servers from a single machine in a couple of minutes. If you look at the concept of virtualization, doing the same process will take you around 6 to 7 hours just to set it all up. But if you look at it in containers format, it will take you a couple of minutes to run multiple web servers, which will be isolated from each other. They would not know that there are multiple web servers running on a single bare metal server, but they will run as an individual services. So what are the benefits? There are multiple benefits. The result from adopting Docker or container is that the application can be deployed or undeployed faster. I talked about the speed of container technology. In that, I particularly stated that containerization of applications is way much faster than any kind of virtualization or bare metal system. You can start and stop faster. Just take an example of booting a computer, booting a virtual instance. It takes about at least till now, when the storage technologies have come so much far forward, but it still takes around 20 to 30 seconds to boot a system and 20 to 30 seconds to shut down a system, and 10 to 20 seconds to restart a system. Okay, and I'm talking about the most of the high-end systems that are available to the normal consumer. Now, if we talk about Docker, what happens is that you can launch a container in a second. I'm not joking. You can launch a container in a second. That container will contain all of your information. It will contain all of your software, and it will launch in a second. It will boot in a second, and it will also stop if you want to in a second, or even less than that. Another benefit is the change to another image faster. Now take an example of a virtual machine. If you want to change from one virtual machine to another, you would have to shut down one virtual machine, pick up another, reboot another virtual machine, and then work on it, and then again shut down and change to another virtual machine. But in images, you do not have to do that. You have a single base operating system shell, and from that particular shell, you can toggle between multiple images or multiple containers. And the image that is referred to here is called the container in Docker terms. Process and do many things faster. Okay, let's say like an example of having a web server ready for you. Okay, you have a laptop or a desktop, and you have set up a web server on your laptop or desktop. Now the thing that happens is that you need to if you want to set up another web server on another laptop, okay, or another instance, you would have to do all of that process over and over and over again, and that is time consuming. Okay, what Docker provides us the benefit is that from the single container we can run multiple instances of that container, and those multiple instances can do multiple things in a second. Okay, so this level of abstraction is exactly what enterprise companies and individuals developer needed. This is the type of abstraction that was needed because after the introduction of virtualization, this hardware utilization process, or the speed of the hardware utilization and software deployment was fairly slow. But when Docker was introduced, this process suddenly became so fast that in couple of seconds, from a couple of seconds of need, you can deploy multiple web servers, you can deploy multiple applications, or deploy multiple services from a single compute instance. Less hassle to provision giant virtual machines, but only get minimum containers essential to host this application. Do remember this point. This is a very powerful concept of Docker, or the very powerful thing that Docker provides us with, is that provisioning a virtual machine is a very daunting task, okay, and time consuming. It takes half an hour or an hour to set up a well maintained virtual machine, okay. But in that particular process also, if we have an abstraction for the hardware, we are still having some hardwares that are left unused. But what happens with Docker is that we get the power of a virtual machine, but we only use those resources which are essential to us. That means if we want only 100 megabytes of memory or 100 megahertz of processing performance, we will only a Docker container will only use that 100 megahertz rather than the 2 full CPU cores. Okay, that is this what is this statement? That is what this statement means. Less hassle to provision giant virtual machines. That is the concept of containers, and those containers will only use minimum essential resources for hosting their applications. Okay, this is the benefit, the most important benefit of containers. A few use cases is that to deploy several services on a single machine. I'm talking about, in this particular lecture, I have talked more about the web servers. Okay, now let's imagine if you're trying to host a web server or a website on your laptop, and if you want to scale it, then you have to buy another laptop and set up a web server over there and sync them so that whenever more people come, both of them will provide the same services, or they can provide the different services. But what happens with Docker is that we can provide that same service on that same machine with multiple instances in a couple of minutes. We can also use this concept of containers to create a standardized workspace environment for developers. Because if you know about web development, you know that the setting up of environment in any kind of web developer's system is a very complex process. So instead of just going and setting up environment at each system particularly, we can use a container which has all the environment set up correctly, and we can use that container as a pen drive and share it around all of our developers. It will create a standardized workspace environment for all of the developers to run their code, to test their code, and to do anything that they want to do. We can use it to run multiple OS environment and switch between them. Let's take an example of a virtualization. Most of the time why do people have virtualization? So people have virtualization because they want to use multiple OS for different use cases. Now take an example. Now take a scenario where you do not have to boot multiple VMs, and those multiple VMs will not slow down your base system. That is what container can provide. You can use multiple OS environments. Let's say you can run Linux, Ubuntu, you can use Kali Linux, you can use CentOS, you can use Red Hat, you can use Windows also, Windows environment also, on the same system without actually hampering the performance, because those containers will only use the little amount of resources that they require to complete the process. Not as a virtual machine that this much virtual machine has or this much hardware will be allocated to that particular machine. So the containers will use only those amount of resources that they require. In the next few lectures, we will talk about how we can